Please welcome to the stage, Frederic Descamps.
No, H. This was. I'll
take that cup when I go.
Yeah, it's Bruce's cup.
All right. And your HDMI input?
Yes.
Okay.
Like yesterday.
Thanks.
You want me to put it in?
Yeah. It's a little twisted.
Yoo-hoo. So, welcome. If I follow the Peter Saitsev algorithm, the party was good last night, right? So, which is good. So, welcome to the state of the Dolphin. Just one slide about who I am. I will remove that mouse. That is boring. Up. So, I am Frederic Descamps. Please, I'm very attached to the not having the H like the French trainer of the soccer team. So I'm known as Le Fred. I'm MySQL evangelist working for MySQL Oracle since 2016. I'm living in Belgium and I have a blog. So first, where are we in 2022? So currently the latest version is MySQL 8.29. And if we check here on the DB Engine 2022 ranking, MySQL is still the most popular open source database. So this is something that makes us very happy, right? But we keep an eye on that too. And if we check the Stack Overflow survey, we also here being the most popular database with the developers. And we pay a lot of attention to on that since the last State of the Dolphin we did virtually with at Percona. And what I always check when a community to see or a product, how is it going, is also related to the literature that just popping out with this technology. And we can see that with MySQL and MySQL 8, we had plenty of very nice book coming the last year, and we are very happy on that. So these are some of the books, and you can see there are also new classics that were finally revisited. So these are again some other books, and multiple language for these books. So for us, this is also, even if I have MySQL has nothing to do with these books, this is also a bit a proof of the how good is the product, because people are interested in it, are writing books. If there is no market for these books, meaning there is no users reading them, they would not be published, right? So, and there are more to come because I'm reviewing some, so there will be more books soon. And this is just some commercial for some of the friends. Some authors are at the conference. There will be a book signing, so get yours. Uncle Dave will be very happy to provide your, the book. So MySQL is open source. Yes, it's already fun because even yesterday I gave a talk and people tell me, oh, is it this in enterprise? No, this is open source. Yeah? We are open source. And so MySQL server is GPL, Adb Cluster is GPL, the router is GPL, Shell is GPL, Workbench is GPL, connectors are GPL, even the new shell for Visual Studio Code is GPL. So this is open source, and please, we accept contribution. You can contribute. There is no restriction on that. And so we want to thank all our contributors. And as you can see, MySQL 8 is 619 contributors, right? And contribution, 113 contributors without the employees, so because we don't count them. And the top contributors are Facebook, Larinas is not here, Daniel, Yura Sorokin, and Zlot Paraji. So I would like a big applause for these guys. Thank you very much. So these are all the latest contributors for MySQL. So I think this picture was very nice, and I will tweet it so people can download it. So what's new since last time we met? Not physically, but virtually, because it was 1 year ago. So we released fourth release, so 8.26, 8.27, 8.28, and 8.29. And so I will just talk about small pieces of what we did, because we did a lot in each release. So 8.26 came out in July 2021. So we kept something very, very important for us. We kept the long task of removing all the offending words that we had previously in MySQL, right? And we are changing this in the commands, in the output of the commands, but also in the comments in the code itself. So this is why it's a very long project for us, and every release. So I put it here in 8.26, but it is being continued in 8.27, 28, 29, and the one coming. So for example, if you are a MySQL DBA and you have played a lot with replication, this is, as you can see here, the changed replication command, it's completely different, right? So now we are using replication source and replicas everywhere. Everything new as using this one. Old, we are working, it's a work in progress, but this is something we are very, very attached to do. Thank you. We also make some change in group application. So group application is what is the heart of our new solutions, because, and I will talk about that later, in MySQL we are really trying to, for a long time, the database was for gurus or for very techies guys, and I loved that time, to be honest, but it could be complicated, and also we have seen a lot of people reinventing the wheel and make it stuff sometimes complicated to move on with the new stuff. And this is why in the MySQL, if you are following us, you will see that we are also putting a lot of effort in creating solutions. Solutions for the user, solutions for the DBAs. And part of that is improving group application to create or to fix the issue we had to create the solutions and make them even more easy for you to manage. So for example, the last point here, UUID has been added just for the change of the view, and this was needed for the last solution that I will just talk in the next slide, so you will see why we did this. So then we have 8.27, that was in October, and here we also made new changes with about, for example, this one, something I really, really like, is the asynchronous replication channel that automatically follows the primary. So when you have a cluster before, when the primary goes down, you are an asynchronous replica there, the source was gone and you had to manually do something. No, this is gone. You can, it's automatically, if there is a new leader, it will go to it, and this is something very cool. So we keep improving clone. I don't know if there are clone users here, but clone is something really, when I was a DBA, if I would have the clone technology, I would be so happy to be able to deploy replicas that fast and so easy. That's very good. So we keep improving clone all the time. We are also improving GCS, which is the XCOM, the protocol we are using for group application. So as you can see, every time, every release, we improve MySQL, and not only some parts of it, but all departments are adding something new there. An example, the last one, for example, LDAP and Kerberos authentication for MySQL protocol in MySQL shell. And so this is something that customers and users were requesting. And also we are listening to our community as much as we can. And explain format 3 was very complicated. Some terms were like, oh, what does that mean? So we make them more easy to understand, so we change the output. If you have made tooling around the output, sometimes you need to change. That's the cons of this. But for the end, have something much more easy. And so I was talking about the solutions, and one of the solutions that came out in 8.27 was InnoDB cluster set. I really like the story about InnoDB cluster set because people were asking, so the users, the sales, the customers were asking, we want HA, we want HA, we want HA. Okay, we all want HA. So we made this InnoDB cluster, so one of these, right? So this is what we made, and it was great. So we give that to the community, we give that to the customer, and Maybe 2 weeks later, yeah, but if my DC goes down, this is not really want. So, but what do you want then? Oh, I want DR. Okay, but DR is not HA. So we worked on DR, and now we have this DR solution in InnoDB with 8027, 8028, 29, which is InnoDB cluster set. And please, this will improve again. So we are working on that to make it much more feature into these solutions. And all this is managed from MySQL shell. So it was fun because there was on the first presentation, we had this old MySQL client, and we know that developers and DBAs don't like this old command line. So this is why we made the shell, and we made something even new that I will talk in a few slides. So with InnoDB cluster, we reached some objectives. We reduced this to seconds and without losing data. So we are very happy on that. There have been sessions, there have been a tutorial. If you were not there, if you are interested, slides are available and you can check all that. And if you have questions later, we can eat chocolate to the booth and talk about that. Then in January, we came out with 8028, the first release in 2022. And here again, we add some stuff. So as I said, we are improving the cluster set. So we have added fencing, for example. Then we have added MySQL shell stuff. So it is not MySQL server, but in shell we are adding stuff too. We have added filtering capabilities to MySQL shell and dump utility. So if you are still using the old MySQL dump, please stop it. It's time to stop. It's like if you're using MySQL 5 something, it's time to stop. But with MySQL dump, it's very, very bad. So use MySQL shell dump and load utility. It's a very good product and with amazing performance. We have also, we are improving the instant DDLs. So now you can rename a column in 8028 and 8029. We are keeping extending this instant DDL. So for operators, it becomes nightmares, or they have less nightmare by night, I guess, because they can add something very quickly, or in this case, rename a column very quickly. And other stuff, because we are adding a lot of stuff. And if you pay attention on performance schema, for example, we also pay a lot of details there, where we are adding more and more instrumentation, and more linked to the memory and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't use performance schema very often, please every release take a look, read the release note, because we are adding very good information that you may need. And finally, the last release, so very recent, it's 8029, that was been end of April. We have added some, for example, if not exit option. That was something that a lot of people were requesting in create function, in create procedure, and create triggers. I'm not a fan of triggers and procedure, but this is now you can create it if it not exists. So when you deploy stuff, automate it, it's much easier. So we are, like I said, we are keeping extending the instant DDL. So every release we try to add something instant. And for example, now you can do a drop column, and you can also add a new column. Before it was at the end, now you can add it wherever you want, right? So if you need to also make, I don't know, send a support ticket to us or to any of your provider, with MySQL shell, now we have also improved or added to the utility object a collect diagnostics. So you run the command, you connect to one server, you run the command, and it will give you a zip file that you can add to your ticket or that you can provide to somebody to have a look, and it has all the information necessary to be able to help you. So it doesn't need to always ask you, oh, but how many CPU do you have? Or do you have, how is the design of your table? Which engine are you using? All that kind of information. It has everything in that zip file, so it's very, very interesting. And more. Also, MySQL E2F on OCI, because as you may know, the MySQL team in Oracle, it's busy improving all the product GPL you have seen now, but we are also improving the cloud offering of MySQL in OCI, and it is the same team that operates that, right? So we keep improving the service, and we keep adding more and more regions. So this is the link if you want to find the latest update on OCI, for OCI, and this is the region where you can have MySQL HeatWave for the moment, right? So we keep improving that by adding, improving the HA solution, improving the data import with MySQL Shell. So even if it's on the cloud, we are improving our tooling to work with it. And for example, importing data is very, very easy from on-premise to OCI if you want to do that. Also, we have an analytic engine in OCI, which is MySQL HeatWave engine. And as you can see, these are some marketing slides, but where you can see the difference that it goes very, very fast compared to the competitors. And also the cost is good. So if you are interested to have this performance and reduce the cost, just have a look. Don't ask me. Ask the guy at the booth if you want something, because I won't be able to provide you anything related to this. But if you want to test this, you can do it on OCI. So another MySQL HeatWave versus Snowflake. Also, as you can see, much faster, always cheaper. So these are quite good numbers. So what we also did, we have the Kubernetes world, right? It's there. Everybody's speaking about it. So we had customers, we had users that were asking for a MySQL operator, and the MySQL operator for Kubernetes is GA right now. End of April, it was GA, so you can use it. It will allow you to have to deploy a MySQL in Adb Cluster on Kubernetes, right? It has everything that an operator for Kubernetes needs. And it is developed, supported by the MySQL team. So this is just a diagram on how it works. And you can have it on GitHub, and the documentation is also now available. So this is for if you want to go to Kubernetes and use the MySQL operator, it's now GA. Last time we met, or virtually, it was in development. So once again, if I go back to the first slide of the first session, it was about these developers that they prefer to click 32 times instead of typing a nice command, and we understood that. So we created a MySQL Shell plugin for Visual Studio Code. Why Visual Studio Code? Because it's the most popular IDE with the developers right now. So if we had to pick one, this is the one we choose, right? And so you can download it from the marketplace, and this is a MySQL Shell for VS Code. It's still preview. It will be GA soon. We are still doing tests. We are adding functions, features to it. So if you want to test it, it's the right time, and we are very happy to receive comments on that. Unfortunately, my session on this was yesterday, but the slides are online. So if you want to discover this tool, it's amazing. I encourage you to check the slides. Also, save the date, October 16 to 20. There will be the MySQL Summit. So the call for paper is now open. It opened yesterday afternoon. This will be a big event, a big conference, where the MySQL presence will be bigger in Oracle Cloud world, right? If you have been there before, we will propose a lot of sessions from our engineers. So if you want to meet our engineers, it's also the place to be. And if you want to participate to the show and you have something to share with us, I would be very happy to review your submission. And if you want to talk with me about that, I am at the booth after the keynote. Also, we have certification in MySQL 8. So there are two certifications, MySQL 8 Database Administrator and Developer. If you would like to have this certification, just come to the booth, I will have some free credits for you to take these certifications. So this is a present we can do here at Percona Live. So if you're interested to take these certifications, just come to me and it will be a pleasure for me to send you a code by email for you to pass the certification. So this is it for me. So thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. Relax after at the bar or no problem. And see me, we can meet at the booth. And like I said, we have some Belgian chocolate. So if you're interested, it's good too. So thank you very much.